I don't think anybody knows that.
It's so weird.
We're gonna replace those windows right there.
Was this a conversation that would have just been had recently?
A couple days ago.
Okay.
Oh my
know.
goodness.
That's strange.
I know, see? You never know who's watching over you.
You never do, or watching your windows.
Listening to your window conversations.
Well, if only they would wash them.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be much more convenient.
Can you pass that message back?
I am.
Okay, thank you.
Grab the Windex. At this point, I'll ask you, who did this belong to?
Robert. Oh. Yeah, turn it over.
Yes.
You'll see.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so special. What an amazing
Really
thing
cool.
to get to have.
Yeah.
Look, obviously, when people watch the show, they're gonna think in watching this, well, of course Tyler's gonna connect to Robert Kardashian, because of course that's who everybody knows. But for me, I find oftentimes the more ambiguous, the random details, like the window thing, and those are the
window
details.
thing nobody would know, because
right.
I've never mentioned it to one person.
I believe that all of those details, came from him and are his way of connecting.
Well, that's exactly why it's important.
She was like, when is it my turn?
Okay, let me think about that. Good to keep in mind, you are gonna deal with vertigo, like feeling dizzy. Do you get vertigo? Like a feeling of like dizzy, like I feel like I can't.
Time.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
What about love life?
Love life? Oh,
Just really quick, I'm sorry.
I think really yeah. Let me look. Okay. Sorry. Look,
You said yeah.
Okay. There's a situation with someone tries to get with one sister. Okay. Someone tries to get with one sister and then tries to get with the other. What is happening? Oh my God, does that make any sense? Oh,
Actually, kind of.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
I kind of do.
You do. What about that situation?
I don't like that situation. That person, I'm not.
We'll discuss.
I think we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as it makes sense to you. I'm blushing. But yes, it's all that matters. That's good. It's also good to keep in mind. Basically, there's a situation with an individual from the past that we've been romantically involved with, and I basically see this individual kind of going in and out. And to me, that generally indicates that this person's kind of in our lives, and then kind of out of our lives, and then kind of in our lives, and kind of out of our lives. The feeling is basically that we want to really set healthy boundaries and say, no, you can't kind of dip your toes in and leave when you want, and can't really commit in the way this comes across. It's like, I still want to be part of your life, but I can't commit to the things that you really want me to do. It's like a really...
I know what you're talking about.
And it's still, and what's weird though is like right now it would be platonic, it's not a romantic thing right now, but the feeling is like, it's still not a healthy reminder to have instability in that dynamic. So the feeling is like really set the terms with this individual.
Yeah, I think that's from like my childhood.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You almost met the whole family.
I know, basically I have. There's just Kendall left is the only one, so.
I'm very grateful for all the information that I got and received, so thank you for that.
We're one of the few that I
Yes,
haven't
one
read
of the
yet.
few, yeah. I've seen all of the episodes.
Oh, nice.
And myself and Mrs. Situation are big fans.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm excited today to see what comes through, and there's messages that might come through for her as well. So,
Yeah.
So the way that I work is basically I just scribble, and throughout the duration of this reading, my job is just to communicate anything that I see, hear, and feel.
I feel like right now in Mike's life, he really needs this reading because there's a lot of going on.
Well, what we can do too is we can talk about personal life. If you have any questions, is there anything that comes to mind?
Well, my life is very public, as you know.
Yeah.
This particular month, it's been, very hard, only because I had this situation, a legal battle in the news, which was very uncomfortable.
Now, obviously, being in the media, I know what you've been going through recently.
Yes.
And I'm so sorry you're having to go through that. What I would say is, I think there's going to be opportunities for leniency to be shown. And I really think that in the long run, I'm not worried about you. I think you're gonna be fine. I think you're gonna be good. Yeah, I feel really good about it. The feeling is that there will be some opportunities for it to not be like that bad of a situation. The feeling is like showing, I keep seeing leniency keeps coming through.
Oh, wow, okay.
So,
no, that is a possibility in my situation.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a world-ending thing. It's just a little bump in the road, and I feel like you're gonna get through it resiliently.
Good.
That makes me happy.
I'm seeing lace. It's always in reference to wedding. Do you have a date planned?
It took us some time to put the date only because I had this situation in the news, which, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of tying that into like the love life thing, and the feeling with this is like, pull the trigger, like you're good. Like do this, do it, you're good. The feeling is like, we're fine. But I feel very excited about this. Interesting. They are having me talk about Dad's side. They are referencing to an older male. I'm trying to figure out what this is. They keep giving me an F, and to me, that's usually referencing to an F name, but they're putting this in multiple capacities, like not just one.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm seeing this name repeating in some way, so.
Yeah, that was my father's father.
Okay.
His name's Frank, and so is my father's name is Frank.
Is Frank as well.
And also my brother's name is Frank.
Gotcha. So is your paternal grandfather passed? Or is
Yes.
Okay, so I feel like I have to highlight him, but he keeps showing me a symbol for stubbornness, which always is, it's a donkey. He's showing me like a literally an ass.
Yeah.
And really in the way this comes through, there's such a sense of pride for you kind of breaking that cycle, because there is some cycles of behavior.
Oh, I definitely broke the cycle.
You broke the cycle.
I definitely broke the cycle. I put a lot of work in the past couple years to change every single aspect of myself. For my grandfather to know that I have changed my life, it was really cool for him to validate that.
Okay.
My head's not gonna spin around or anything. So I have this blank notepad, I have this pen, and what I do is I just scribble. It's the way that I connect. Now, sometimes I do ask people to bring an object. It kind of opens me up to whoever happens to be around, whoever happens to come through.
I brought a pair.
Awesome, I like those.
I always get scared it's gonna like move.
Oh, probably not. I mean, the eyes are a little...
It's creepy,
Sure, yeah.
but it's meaningful.
Cool, okay. I'm just gonna bring through whoever happens to pop in. So we'll see. Okay. No pressure, Tyler. All right. Okay, over here. We already have some people kind of popping in already. As
Do you see them? Like, are they looking?
It's
Wait,
interesting.
Do you see it, or I don't get it?
Mentally, so it's actually not like they're floating around here, you know, watching a shower or anything like
okay.
that. But when I connect to this, there's a man that's popping in that's referencing to the fact that he feels as though he actually passed away middle-aged. So usually when I look at that, middle-aged, like 50, around that kind of time frame.
Okay.
As what I would see with that. And as he's coming through, he's making a direct connection to your mother, of all people. So I think I'm inclined to go on that side of the family. When I'm looking at this, before I got here, I was kind of getting the impression of maybe like mother's brother or some form of connection with this, but would...
Stop.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. When I'm looking at that, there's a reference for him of a couple things. He's very, very sweet, but he's joking about the fact that a mustache that people used to joke and be like, you need to shave that thing.
Stop!
But he refused
My
to get
God.
rid of it. Is that correct?
Stop!
Are there any questions that come to mind?
Oh, let's talk about my love life.
Yeah, oh, great. Yes.
Will I ever have one?
Oh my God, you could have one in a heartbeat. Here.
Let's work on that.
Let me see here. So you're going to Florida. That'll end up happening.
What?
I am seeing Florida.
I'm going tomorrow.
Good to know because
good.
I'm seeing Florida.
Florida.
And they're having me talk about hooking up. Okay.
I'm gonna have a hookup in Florida.
I think your hookup's awaiting you.
What?
I think you better catch that flight.
I don't even know this hookup yet. Or do I know this hookup?
I think you might. I think they're bringing up this whole flame, Carson. This is embarrassing, but
There is an old flame.
this is good to keep in mind. They're talking about the Florida trip. They're having me talk about like romantic person, partner, potential thing, going back and forth. Like, do we not? Do we not? Do we not? And then they're just like, no.
Okay.
So it's just good to keep in mind if there is like the chemistry or if there's an offer, maybe pull back would be the message.
Good to know.
They are just giving me like a lot of like Latin. There's like a lot of Latin stuff going on, so I don't know.
Welcome to my world.
Is that your world?
Usually.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Francesco, are you getting a Francesco?
potentially.
Okay, I just met a Francesco.
Okay.
Did you see an eggplant with Francesco by any chance?
No, I think it was more of a shrimp.
No.
It's more of a shrimp situation, but
Oh, that's good to know.
it's okay.
I'm a little bit psychic, but I can't, it's like The Secret. Like I wish it and then it happens.
Just take a minute. Let's envision a very attractive, tall Latin man.
Yeah.
When I step out the door, I expect him to be standing there waiting for you.
It could be. This is
could.
New York. They're everywhere. Welcome. I hope you're not getting too many graphic images.
Oh, plenty, Carson.
Really?
It's okay, though.
Oh my God.
That's,
We'll have to do this for Tyler Henry After Dark.
So 2 people that are coming through immediately that I want to talk about. There is a contemporary to your mother that would be a male. So has she lost a spouse, to your knowledge?
Oh
Wait,
my
so-
God, my mom did lose a spouse.
Okay. Let's look and see what this is though, because it's a really weird roundabout connection. Like, I know I'm getting it, I just have to figure out why. He's having me talk about your sister and talking about sister, sister, sister. But then I'm referencing to a split within family. He's claiming your sister though. He's not claiming you. Like,
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, my sister and I, we have the same mom. Yeah, he's not my dad.
Oh, right, okay.
And that was my mom's first husband.
Right.
And then they divorced, and then I came through a couple of years later.
Okay.
Different dad.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. He's one that I'm gonna connect to, and I feel like it's because sister's here. There's a reference to heart. He's acknowledging that he had a heart attack. He's saying, I had a heart attack.
He did.
And he's acknowledging that when this comes through, he talks about his own health. He really ultimately neglected his health in the way that comes across. He's around her very strongly. It makes a very close connection. He's showing me music notes, so give me 1 minute. Music notes.
Music notes? Because I always connect music to him.
Sure.
Growing up, my dad wasn't really around, and he knew that. So whenever he would send my sister any gifts, he would always include me. And one of the things that he sent me was a Menudo watch. And that was like I know you have no idea who the hell Menudo is. They were a singing group, you know, it was like 5 guys, and me and my sister were like in love with them. But anyway, he knew that.
Right.
So he sent her a watch, and he sent me one also. So I will forever connect that to him.
Right.
Because he got me that watch, and I was really excited. So my sister's father, Jose, he came through in the reading. Whenever he would come in town to visit her, he was always very warm and nurturing to me. And I mean, it's always great to be able to share that with, you know, your sibling that you grew up with.
I see that we have some there.
We are interested in a medium reading in regards to a family member of ours who has passed on.
Celebratory.
We just have a couple of things that we want to ask.
It's interesting the way this comes through, because this person comes through more for you, but they keep bringing up you over and over again. Now, where my attention is being brought is they're having me talk about a female on your mom's side of family, and one is coming through, would have passed away very prematurely is the way I would describe it. Like, just feels like shouldn't have gone when you went. They're putting some emphasis on the timing of this, and the timing of it basically corresponding with the time that would normally be positive, at a time when we should have been happy, looking towards the future. It feels like it shouldn't have happened when it did. It's like, bam, I just feel like I get blindsided is the way that I would describe this. It's a situation where she's like, hey, I'm focused on my health, I'm focused on what's going on, and then bam, this happens to me. It's not from me, it happens to me. It just happens, and the feeling is I wasn't expecting to go when I went. Basically, in the context of the passing, we don't know what exactly happened. It keeps coming through. Either delayed in being informed or a delay in knowing what exactly happened.
That's right. So yes, the person you're talking about, her name was Gloria.
Oh.
Gloria is my mother, and I call her Glojo.
That's what we call her.
Yeah, we call her Glojo, because she always just bring that excitement in there, so we call her Glojo. And yeah, she passed 9 months ago, 8 months ago.
Wow.
It happened 4 days before my birthday.
Gotcha. Celebratory time. Gotcha.
With my mom, they didn't do an autopsy. I mean, they didn't recommend it, and I wanted it because I'm like, well, you would want to know. I mean, she was 69, and they was like, well, natural causes. I'm like, but she's not
old.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
Because I just felt like it wasn't right, but.
So, sadly, we were never able to figure out officially what her cause of passing was, correct?
Right.
Right. Yes. The main thing I think about was it hard for her at the time that she passed? You know, she was so strong. I hope she was strong within that transition.
Of course. I think something had just gone on. She wasn't feeling well. It was clear she was in a state that she wasn't herself. But I don't get a sense of suffering. I do feel a deep sense of peace. I feel like I'm good. And there's never a good time to go, but I want you to know the way this comes through, she had time to kind of think and have a sense of acceptance and a sense of peace, and that's huge.
Thanks. To be honest, you feel like a part of you is gone forever, like you never can replace it.
When you don't know and you love somebody and they've been such an instrumental part of your life and, you know, unexpectedly they pass, Tyler being able to say she wasn't, you know, in pain or she wasn't suffering, that was something, like, for real.
My job is to be specific and to be able to bring forward validations and details that you know, that your family knows, information that's not out there in the public. And that's really obviously what I strive for, especially in situations with public figures.
Bobby's passing was very public, and I think that the way to keep him alive is through talking about him. So I'm all in.
I see you do have some objects here. Looks like there's a ton.
It looks bigger than it is because there's a big blanket.
Okay, cool.
So it's taking up most of the room. So don't be overwhelmed by the box. It's a little scary.
No worries.
Okay, so I made this with my own 2 hands, and I know nobody would believe me, right?
That's amazing.
And then I ended it about a week before Bobby died, and I let him sleep with this. That's
Cool.
this he slept with the last week of his life.
And don't tell me too much about the objects.
I think you can probably guess who this is.
Probably it would have been a very aggressive grandmother. Just kidding.
It belonged to my dog.
Yeah, I figured.
Here's his briefcase.
Okay, fabulous.
So
yeah.
he had his business cards all wrapped in rubber bands. And a bag of keys if you want those.
Let's
I
just
think
start
that
with this.
covers that.
Yeah.
Picture of him.
We have options.
This is one of us. I didn't know which one you'd prefer.
Sure.
I found this picture, I don't even know where,
Yeah.
in someone's house, and I had it framed. Not to leave my dad out, this is my father's mother.
Yeah.
Mom, yes, what's wrong?
This is never going to start. She is going to talk forever. I'm very sorry. It's
okay.
Don't.
Wait, I'm wearing his watch.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing his ring, the ring he gave me, and I haven't worn it since he died.
No worries.
Mom, let Tyler.
I know, but he wants the objects.
No problem.
Thank you. I love you.
Fabulous. All right. Well, we'll see if anything comes in. And
Good luck.
We've
Get
got
lost.
plenty of objects to work with. All
Get
right.
lost.
So as I go through this, I'll do the majority of the talking. I'll just communicate everything that I see, hear, and feel, and we'll go from there.
I don't think Tyler knew what he was getting himself into.
And we'll just meditate. Let's see what comes in. They're bringing me to this object, which I'm going to touch. I feel like they're having me talk about, I keep getting a reference to a Helen or an Ellen-sounding name, and they're showing me this little chihuahua, like a little nugget. Do you know of anyone who's lost like a chihuahua or like a dog of that kind of breed?
I lost my chihuahua 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
And that was her toy.
Oh.
And Helen is my grandmother.
Check and see on the grandma side of things, just really quickly with the Helen reference. Check and see if there's any memories of a little child being at the wheel of a car.
That's 100% true.
It's a weird thing. I'm not seeing a child driving necessarily, but I'm seeing a child at the wheel of a car.
Okay, all right, I know what this is. Okay, the only thing I can think of, Tyler, is that I was behind the wheel of the car when I was about 4 years old on the driveway. My mother was unloading the packages and left me. And I was behind the wheel of the car and it slid in the back. And the entire car went back the driveway. And I remember everyone freaking out. And rescuing me and stopping the car.
Wow.
You never told me that story.
Never.
Fascinating.
You don't know that story?
Wow, fascinating. I do feel
Do you
like
think
that was
that's what
for
it
you.
is? You don't think it's like my father in a car years ago when he
No.
was a kid?
It's definitely like a reference of a kid being at like
I was at the wheel of the car. I
car.
can remember it like yesterday.
Absolutely.
All right, now go away.
We'll
But
see
it
if anything else
definitely
comes
happened.
through. Awesome. No worries. So yeah. They're immediately having me jump into this, and when it comes to Bobby, there's kind of a reference of wanting to discuss some like family dynamic. He, versus focusing on himself, is focused more on the family and what would have happened before his passing and after his passing. He wants to make sure everyone else is good. He's not really focused on himself.
Shocking.
He's having me talk about these 3. He's referencing to kids, and I'm a little confused because he's referencing to 3, but then he keeps adding a 4th, and it keeps switching between 3 to 4, 3 to 4, 3 to 4.
Wow.
So do you know what
Do you know how many kids Bobby had?
No clue.
I don't think anybody.
Oh my God.